Good evening, everyone. So, it's about 9:30 in London here. I hope you're well. So, I just finished whatever I had to do today and finally have a moment to do some stitching. So, today I'm continuing the last session with this piece. It's Granny's craft room, one of my favorite pieces here. Let me just bring up the markup just to show you where I am right now. So this is the piece I'm doing here. So it's not a massive piece comparing to Heaven and Earth, for instance, but it's quite large. And this is 14 counts. And originally, not originally, it still is, it's a cross-stitching kit. So I'm starting from the center where the little kitten is. Let me show you where I am right now. So you can see this is part of the kitty you can see here. And here's a little, I think some sort of crystal ball here. So let me just quickly show you my progress right now. So I'm using, oh dear, let me just close it. I think it's playing out. Oh, okay, good. So so this is Markup XP, is one of the apps similar to Pattern Keeper, but it's quite good if you have sort of paper patterns. You can scan them and then they will just turn the paper patterns into digital patterns. So this is what I've done. So at the moment, let me show you here. So I'm starting with 0 stitch today and see how many stitches I can pack in for today's session. So let me just bring up the totality, the full view of the piece. So this is where I am. So let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 pages cross, and I think 4 from top down. So at the moment, you can see I've completed the 2 pages here in the center here, and I just pick kind of a random direction, whichever I fancy. I'm going downwards. So these are the 2 pages I've completed, and now I'm just taking it down from the first page on the left here. So let me just go back to my chart. So I'm going from sort of top left to bottom right diagonally. So I'll talk about the method a little bit more later. Let me just pop that back in. So the floss I'm using is the floss that comes with a kit. So I bought this kit maybe about during the COVID, probably about 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, and the colors are DMC compatible. The texture is a little bit different, but it's compatible. So this is what I'm going to continue from the diagonal that I've diagonal line that I've created, and so that's where I am today. let me just bring up the markup here so you can see. It's nice to have a reference here. So let me just adjust my view here. So I hope you're well. It's been a lovely day for me. Quite relaxing, but there are just few chores I had to do. Things I sort of didn't have time to sort out. So, and it's quite nice to stitch in the evening as well, because, you know, everything's kind of done and you're just winding down, kind of, you know, relaxing. So I'm relaxing. I hope you are too. So for the about 2 pages, I'm trying to think how long it's taken me. So even though I got the kit a couple of years ago, I didn't really dive into it properly till very recently, actually. Let me just see, pick my thread here. 402. So when I saw this piece, this kit on Amazon, I just fell in love with it. And I was struggling to see, you know, in my mind whether I should get it, because I've got so many ongoing projects already. And the thing is, if you fall in love with something, it just comes back to haunt you every night. So I kind of tried to leave it aside. I thought, well, at that time I was deeply into 25 counts, heaven and earth patterns. And I thought, well, you know, when do I have time to stitch 14 counts? And I tried to put it out of my mind, and it didn't work. I eventually went back and ordered it. But I didn't really start to do it properly till very recently, because in the beginning, when I got the kit, I decided to stitch not on 14 counts, but on, I'm trying to recall, maybe 22, either 20 or 22, maybe 22. So I got my own fabric. I was really into small stitches at that time, in a complete rabbit hole of 25 count projects. So I wanted to just use the material, use the floss that came with the kit, but I wanted to stitch the piece on a higher count fabric. So that's what I did. So I did, I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think it was 22 counts. And I started from upper left. So if you look at the markup, let me just show you the big markup right now. If you look at the upper left, that where these two trees are, that's where I started, upper left corner. That's what most people do. They start from upper left. And then it dawned on me. It was just plain sky and some trees. And I kind of just lost interest, because my mind, I fell in love with the little cat in the middle and the room area. The room just looks so cozy. So I kind of tried to get through the sky area and the tree, and I just lost motivation. So I kind of just left it. I'll show you the leftover piece one of these days. I have a lot of abandoned project, trust me. And so I kind of left it and just went back to 25 counts. Where am I? Oh, I've got my thread underneath. I'm still on this color. See, I'm totally distracted. And I'm here. Let me just refocus for a moment here. Ah, okay. I know where I am now. And I just went back to 25 counts, heaven and earth projects, and that occupied me for a long time. And it wasn't until maybe the recent 3-4 months I just started to crave for slightly different projects. So I've started a lot of half stitches, 10 stitches projects, which I never did. I kind of saw that as cheating. Cheating what? I have no idea. It's not an exam. But I just felt like if it's cross stitching, it has to be crossed. But anyway, I kind of started a new phase of my stitching that I felt secure enough to not always do 25 counts, not always do tiny little, stitches. And the battle you go through as a stitcher, I have no idea. And I'm going to, I think I'm going to finish this. Oh, my cat is meowing at me. What's up, Dolly? What can I do for you? You had your supper and you had your cuddle. Your cuddles all day long. Oh, hello. I don't know whether you can hear it. Oh my God, that pitiful sound. Let me just tend to her first. Hello, babe. What's going on there? Hey. Mummy's busy. And, oh, hello. What's up? What's up? I'm going to have your hair everywhere. On the fabric, on everything. It's a black and white cat as well. So, no escape with the fur there. Hey, sweetie. What's up? I think she just wants some attention. 402. I'm going to pop it back here for later. And as I was sort of experimenting, half 10 stitches and everything, and I remember this piece. So I just have a sip of tea. Tea of choice tonight is peppermint. So evening, no caffeine. So peppermint tea is my tea of choice in the evening. And I remember this piece, so I kind of dug it out of my storage box. And I thought maybe I can start it properly and stitch on the original fabric, which is this one's 14 counts, and start from there. But this time I decided to start from the middle instead, because, I just didn't feel like stitching that sky, the pale sky and trees for months on end, maybe years. Before I get to the cat, I had to get to the cat first. So that's what I did. So, and I decided to do it page by page. It's just more organized. So that's where I am. So every piece that I'm stitching right now, if I think about it, there's a story to it, to every single one, because these pieces are so big and it's kind of interwoven into my life in to some extent, you know, to live events at that time. Why I bought it. Why I bought it. There's always a story and memories that goes with it. So when I got this piece, it was in the middle of lockdown, and it took a while to have it delivered to me, and I was so happy when I got it. You know, I love buying kits because there's a sense of opening something. It's like opening a dream. Everything is there ready for you. You've got fabric, you've got floss. Floss is so exciting. And, you know, the chart, oh my God. It's like a new world opening, waiting for you. So I was really excited when I got it. And I can't remember how long I waited before I started the original piece. But yeah, I couldn't wait. Normally I just when it comes to stuff like this, I'm like a child. I couldn't wait. So the recent few months, I probably do more 14 counts than 25. I'm just at that phase at the moment, and I've got quite a few. I'm being conservative. I have got quite a few big projects waiting for me. 1, 2. 1, 2 here. 3. Okay. And it's quite exciting to think about because, you know, I hadn't done 25 counts. Well, I've done 25 counts, but not full stitches. I've got a couple of 10 stitches, half stitch ones. There are 25 counts, like the dry flower. I think the last time when I did the dry flower session, I misquoted it. I said it was on, let me think. It was on, let me mark this first. I think I misquoted it as 22 counts. No, it's actually 25. So but it's 10 stitches. So I haven't done 25 counts, 4 stitches projects for a little while, and it's nice because you start to miss it. It's nice to miss it. So when you do it, it feels fresh. The reason I think I had to kind of change around a bit is because I was in that rabbit hole, the 25 count rabbit hole for too long. Probably over 2 years. And I just needed kind of a break from it. A little breather from the same type of projects. And I talked about the method of stitching for this page at least in my last session. So this is what I learned from Gemma Stitches, which is a lovely YouTube channel. she kind of, I don't know, maybe she invented this way of stitching, because diagonal stitching is not new, but most people do it either block by block, or they do it really neatly, like a straight line. They follow the diagonal line really strictly. And to be honest, I haven't seen anybody stitch this way, at least on YouTube, as far as floss tuber is going. And I'm really curious, because this is such a lovely way of stitching. And I wonder why that. Oh, I might have got a couple of colors incorrect here. It doesn't matter. But 1, 2, let me just correct this first before I go too far. Because this chart is coming from paper charts, as I mentioned before, and it also has back stitching lines on top of the charts as well. So sometimes it's very hard to read. So I think it's one of the issues with it, with this chart. But you know, I try to read carefully so I don't mistaken the backstitch lines as the border. So that can be easily mistaken. So I am here. So this method, really only two main sort of rules, if you can call them. One is you're following the diagonal line, but very kind of loosely. We're not trying to create a sort of straight line, but generally you stitch diagonally. But also there's no floating stitches. You can see I'm basically stitching in an area that attached to the main stitched area. And that's the reason why this is such a lovely way of stitching, because you're not trying to, you don't have to constantly stitch in an area that is surrounded by other stitches. I don't like that. Some people don't mind, but I don't like it in general, because it feels very tight. Let me just stock it here. In fact, and also this is such a fun way of stitching, because it's like you're trying to solve a puzzle. There's a strategy involved in terms of where you take your thread. As you can see, I have to think about where I stitch, where I take my thread to create that diagonal line, but also not to create boxed in stitches. So it's really fun to do. Really fun to do. Let me see here. Oh, this room is a little bit warm here. Let me just, I've got like multiple layer. It's sorry. Sorry everyone. This is live. But I'm just taking the outer layer of my top off. Sorry about that. It's getting a bit warm. All good now. So I really enjoy it. And I am here. So you sometimes, you know, I'll switch. Well, with every single piece, pretty much I stitch with a different method. So coming back to this way of stitching, you have to kind of get your head around a little bit. It takes a few stitches to kind of warm up, because sometimes you're in autopilot, you start filling in stitches everywhere. Like if, you know, previous pages I actually did cross country, so if you get into the habit, you just start stitching everywhere. So I have to kind of think about it. And 3047. So mustard yellow color here. The great thing about picking a new thread is that I can do my loop start. The really lovely thing about 14 count with two thread, rather two strand rather, is that you can really hear it. You can hear the thread going through the fabric. It's so relaxing to hear that. I love the sound of the thread going through the fabric. I don't notice it that much when I'm doing 25 counts. Here we go. This bit I'm going to fill in this area there. So with this method, you have to enjoy threading to a certain extent, because some people dread it. If you don't like threading, this method is probably not for you, because it requires a lot of color changes, thread changes. Like now, I part here just with one stitch, so that happens a lot. But I find it really relaxing to thread and unthread. It's kind of just muscle memory. I don't think about it. And you know every stitch is going to be neat and tidy as you move forward. This one as well. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit more. again 1 stitch, and I'm going to part down here. And as you stitch, you kind of form a strategy in your mind in terms of, you know, where you're going to go next. And that's the fun part, I think, for me. Because otherwise, you feel like you're just filling in stitches. And I'm one of those people, if I stitch an area that's kind of just a block of the same color, I get bored really quickly. You know, some people stitch sky or some sort of dark background, all similar colors, and my eyes get really fatigued, and my mind gets really fatigued. So I like colorful pieces. All my projects, you will have quite a lot going on within the piece. Just so much fun. Right, I'm going to take it down here a bit further away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, and 2 down. 1, 2, there. So. You know you pick the right piece when you miss it. When you're not stitching the piece, you think about it and you can't wait to get back. That's what you want. Okay, so I'm taking this up. And I know I go on and on about Gemma stitches. I mean, she's one of my favorite stitchers. She's so fast. I don't know how she's stitching the same method that I'm doing now, but she can do it so fast. For me, if I stitch this way, it tends to be a little bit slower than cross country, for instance, or block by block. I think block by block can be quite fast as well, even though I'm not chasing after speed, but you know, I notice the difference. Okay, I'm coming down here. It's so pretty. So I don't know whether any of you are using Markup XP. It's pretty powerful when it comes to recognizing charts in terms of scanning paper charts. But it's not so great when it comes to if you do a lot of parking like I'm doing right now. Like Pattern Keeper, you can have a shortcut. You just double tap and you mark the park thread. Whereas with markup, is it RXP? I can't even know. I should know by now. RXP or PRPX, whichever, you know the one. You have to press down on the screen for like a couple of seconds for a pop-up to come up. Let me show you. I want you to see this, and I want the developers of this app to hear this. Because clearly they don't park, because you can just tell if you're park a lot, you will probably want to find a better solution than this. So let's see, I'll give an example. So if I highlight one of the colors, whichever, okay, and I want to park, let's say I want to park this on this thread, the stitch there, I'll have to go to edit mode, and I have to press on the stitch, wait for the pop-up to come up, and even then I have to pick which area I have to park. So there isn't a default setting. They can go, well, if I want to park, it will be bottom left, which is how I always park. You have to look at the menu, the pop-up menu, and then pick the right one. So occasionally I pick the wrong one. I mean, now I know, because I park so much, I know it's the third one from the bottom, and I'll do that. And then it marks it. You can pick different colors. But just an example, because this is very, very inconvenient. And all I have to do is to do the same as Pattern Keeper and just provide a shortcut. I mean, it's totally doable. So I don't know why they haven't done it. And I have asked the developer, that was a guy, I can't remember his name, when the feature is going to be improved, or basically have the same option as Pattern Keeper. And they go, well, it's on the list, they're working on it. But that was maybe 2 years ago when I first discovered the app, and it's still the same so far. So nothing's changed. So I don't think that's their top priority, to improve on parking feature. But I just want them to know there's one user here desperately waiting for the feature. Let me have a sip of tea. But things like this really, it's a quality of life kind of changes. It's great to have big features and amazing capability to do this and that or the other, but the usability has to kind of up to a certain standard, I think, before you can call yourself a really good app. And also, it's a subscription-based app. So Pattern Keeper, you can buy one off, pay one off. You have it for life, and you have all the updates. But with a markup, RXP, RPX, RXP, you pay for yearly subscription. So I think if you're charging people yearly subscription, you better come up with improvement all the time, because you want people to keep paying you every year. You need to give them something, I think. So enough of my complaint as as a stitcher. Yes. I'm going to cheat a little bit and stitch this one. I kind of allow myself to stitch in the area where there's already a stitch above. Because normally, you know, you should theoretically follow the diagonal line with our stitches kind of sticking out. But I don't mind. That's how I'm going to do it. Let me mark them quickly. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3, and 2 to the side. Yeah. And I think, you know, stitching is such a... Oh, hello, my cat. Hello, Dolly. What's up? You're back. Oh, she's back for another meow. I don't know what she wants. What is it you want? What can I do for you, darling? Hmm? Yeah, I was saying, I think cross stitching is such a great industry to get into when it comes to apps, because there's so much demand. And if you're a developer, and I think ultimately, whoever developed stitching apps has to be guided. If they don't stitch themselves, they should be guided by people who stitch, you know, in terms of user profile, so they know what they really need and they can prioritize the important features. I don't think we're looking for fireworks. We're just looking for a solid app with good functionality, good user experience. And take care of the fundamentals before you start to do sort of, you know, fancy things. Start from the fundamental, look after the basic features and do it really, really well. And people will be really loyal to you. I think Pattern Keeper is not perfect, but I feel they have a lot more flair when it comes to looking after design and usability. I don't know whether the developer stitches, but I think he or she understands the needs, the basic needs. So you create better apps. And it's good to have competitors, even though Pattern Keeper is doing really well, but I haven't seen a lot of sort of major improvement, to be honest. It's not a criticism. I think it's probably built by a very small team. And, you know, they only ask for a one-off payment. So they've been very honest and, you know, being very good about it. But I think there are still things they can do And I'm happy to give them to be the user case. You can contact me. I'll give you my views as a heavy stitcher and heavy duty parker. And a lot of people park. You know, I think the power of apps like Pattern Keeper and this app I'm using, Markup XP, is for people who stitch pieces like full coverage, heaven and earth, you know, max colors here and there, that kind of project. Because if you only do with samplers, which I did before I discovered full coverage, I can easily get by without the app. I can even look at, you know, paper patterns. I normally just take a picture and mark with highlighters on a PDF app, and that worked. You don't really need apps like this. So this kind of apps, apps like Pattern Keeper, it's targeted, or its target audience is very specific. So let me just pick the thread first. 3829. 3829. Here we go. My organizer is getting a little bit messy. Time for a little hiding up, I think. Yeah, so I was saying this kind of app is targeting at people like us, you know, who do heavy duty, full coverage pieces. And their needs are very, very different from people who do samplers. You know, I occasionally do samplers still, but it's a very different kind of experience and different requirements and needs. So they need to know who these people are and what are the most critical features, and aim to do it really, really, really well. And they will follow you for life. Seriously. And if you think about the length of time for each project to be finished, you're gonna have a very long-term customers here, you know, for decades probably. So just and park it down here. I remember I got a comment. I got a comment probably a couple of weeks ago, something like that, regarding this piece. I think that there's I think it's a lady. There's a lady stitching this piece, this very piece, in I think 11 counts, which is quite a large stitches. I don't think I ever stitched 11 counts it must be quite satisfying to do, because the stitches will be quite large, because 14 for me feels really big. And I'd love to see that piece. I wonder if it was a kid, probably a kid, because I've never seen pattern only for this piece. Oops, let me just see. Needle sliding off. That's right here. And it's very tempting to stitch this one as well, but I'm going to refrain myself and park it here. There you go. I've been a really good girl, because it's so easy, just start stitching, and before you know it, form a big block of square there, which is nothing wrong, but I like to maintain that soft diagonal line as much as I can. It's a challenge for myself. Right, let's have a look. I am going to start filling in this area a little bit more, because this bit is starting to form kind of like a block here now. I'm going to soften it. Right. 3328. It's nice pink there. Oh, I need a sip of tea. up a little bit. Every stitch is a dream. We're kind of weaving a dream here. Here we go. My cat is still wiggling around under my desk. What is it? Oh, hello. She only wants my attention when I'm stitching. Right, here is a nice big block of 402. Got one here already, waiting for me. I need to remember to mark promptly because I always miss stitches on my app and then get very confused. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I am going to. Okay, I'm going to stop here and go back. Again, this is all about self-control. When it comes to, oh, I've missed that one. When it comes to where you take your thread to, and the challenge always be where you stop as much as where you start. So I'm going to and it's kind of because when you have a block, an area has got the same color, the instinct is you're just trying to fill in the space that particular color as much as you can. But when you stitch with this method, you almost have to come to a hard stop a certain area so you can maintain that diagonal line, because I could just keep it take it over all the way to the area, all the stitches of the same color, but then you know it would break the line, and maintaining that soft diagonal line is kind of part of the fun. And I can't tell you how much time I invested in watching Gemma stitch this way, because in the beginning I was just thinking, oh my God, you're changing thread, changing, threading and unthreading every few seconds. And so I wasn't even sure if it was going to work for me at all. Let me just see, look at this. Oh dear. I think 1, 2, 3. I've got one here. I forgot to mark parking. Oh dear. Okay. That's why I got confused. I've already one part thread here. That's okay. I'll just take it down. And very often you have to have multiple threads of the same color in a different area. So I'm trying to think whether you need to do that with other parking methods. I think if you do block by block, yeah, I suppose you probably have to from time to time. If you have the same color but going toward different directions, you just introduce another thread of the same color. All right, I'm going to I'm going to tuck my stitch here to end it. Stitching is such a great thing to do before bedtime. It just calms your mind, calms everything down. Here we go here. Trying to look at my diagonal line to see where I want to fill in. Okay, I need to go down here a little bit. Three, 3, 2, 8. Oops, nearly missed it. To the left. I think stitching has got to be good for your kind of brain function, maybe not the right word, but because you're constantly recognizing, matching patterns, interpreting charts, and try to identify the correct location for the next stitch. It's got to be good for your brain, I think. Because most days we use our brain pretty much the same way for the same things, think about the same things. Yeah, whereas stitching, particularly if you stitch in different methods, switch around, your brain has to kind of be flexible as well. I think that's a good thing. I think I'm not a doctor, okay? No medical background or science, but I think that's the case. I think it's got to help. Here we go. Oh dear. Let me see. Have I? Well, the thing is, okay, got it. For a moment, I thought I messed it up. And most of the times, if I realize that I've stitched the wrong color in the wrong stitch, wrong location, sometimes, if I can, maybe I'll undo the stitches. But a lot of times I just let it go, unless it's a totally different color. But if it's just kind of similar, I mean, who will notice it? Seriously. Well, I know, but to be honest, if you come back to the piece, there's no way you can identify if you made some mistakes with some stitches. I mean, obviously, if it's white and you stitch black, then that can be a problem, but otherwise, who cares? It's okay. Because sometimes undoing stitches, is just a bit more sort of work and a bit sort of the stress you don't have to go through. It's just not worth it. Just let it go. Just let it go. Right. And did I mention that this piece has a lot of back stitches? So if you look at this, I'm so excited when I think about it. I have to show you this. So the parts you can see anyway, this is the stitch area, and this is a little kitty here, and all the other bits. So let me show you. I have to show you my app again. So let me zoom out a little bit. Whoops. What have I done? Okay. Let me zoom out. Oh, see, that's a problem with this app. Yeah, so you can see these lines that confuse me sometimes. That because they're so thick, but these are back stitches. So once I've done maybe another page or so, maybe when I finish the 4 pages in the center, I'll start doing the back stitches. I'm not going to wait till the end of the project when I finish it, because that could be 10 years time. So I want to do the back stitches here. That'll be quite fun to do, and it would add a lot of definition to the piece as well, which is quite nice. So it's kind of a different dimension of the piece to kind of bring it alive, bring it to life rather. And so I'm looking forward to that. And let me just bring up, as you can see, it's so detailed, and yeah, it'd be lovely. It would be lovely to do that. So maybe couple 2 more pages to go. I finished this one and the one next to the one on the right. Then I'll do the back stitches. Yay! Something to look forward to. And when you think about stuff like that, kind of a milestone that you want to reach, it gives you motivation to keep it going. Zoom in a little bit more. Oops. Right, I'm gonna take it down here. Another one stitch and park. Okay. So I don't know whether most people would kind of change methods as a change project. I don't know. I bet I'm not the only one. But having said that, I also know stitchers, they pretty much stick to the same method and they just never get bored of it. It's fascinating. You know, I know a lady, I think it's a Japanese lady. She's so fast. I should know her channel name. Let me just pull it up. I think because the language is probably not a problem because you know, you just have to watch her stitching. I think her name, maybe, I'm trying to pull it up from my YouTube channel. Maybe Konami. Let me just make sure so you can check her out. She is so fast, and she only stitches 25 count heaven and earth pieces. Let me just quickly pull it out. I think maybe because I was, oh yes, Komari, Komari. Look her up on YouTube. She is so fast. She's just like a machine. And every time I watch her, I'm just mesmerized. And she only does live streams as well. So you can watch her stitching real time. It's not speeding up in any shape or form. She's really fast, but she always stitches pretty much the same method. She would go mini cross country. She would just start to edge away from the stitch area, but she will have floating stitches and she will end threads right there. She doesn't park. It's fascinating. And you need to watch the way she start and finish threads. Okay, this is, I think this is something so unique about her. So we kind of agonizing over how to start a thread, how to end the thread, so it's nice and tidy, or at least as nice and tidy as possible, you know. And there's this lady. I'll try not to spoil it. Just go watch her stitch. She's got all sorts of tons and tons of archived sessions, live sessions. Go watch it and watch carefully how she starts and how she ends thread. And then we can catch up. Yes, every stitcher is so unique with their approach. And I think it's a reflection of the personality as well. And you can't cheat your way through the way you stitch because it takes so much time and so much effort to do. Well, not effort, but you know, it's time consuming and you do it because you love it, not because it's a job. So you know, if it's a method that doesn't kind of flow with you, you can't pretend that it is and try to do it, try to force your way through. It just doesn't work. So I think ultimately the method that we settle with, I mean, for me, there are multiple ones, but the ones you feel most at home, I think, you know, it varies so much, depends on what kind of personality you are. You know, whether your focus is more on speed because you know, you want to complete as fast as you can. Or if you like me, not that bothered about speed, but I like my stitches relatively tidy, in the sense, not in an OCD kind of way, but you know, I don't have stitches that being, I don't like to stitch when the fabric's really kind of packed with stitches. So what I mean is, if you have boxed in stitches, I generally find it less pleasurable to stitch, if that makes sense. Where am I? Where am I? Who am I? Let me see. I might have done the wrong one. There we go. I was just talking there and got so it just went off my stitches a little bit. There we go. Back. I'm back. It's okay. It's all good. Here we go. And so I'm always fascinated by how people, kind of strategy people choose to move forward with their projects. It tells me a lot about the person. And it's so interesting. 1, 2, here. Yep. Let's have a look. I've got a bit of a Lolly's hair on my piece. So I normally just use a piece of masking tape and just pick up any fine hair. They're not mine, okay? My cat's hair. And if you have cats, you know it's impossible not to have their hair just absolutely everywhere, even if you groom them. Oh, there's magic hair will go we'll just end up in the most unlikely places. Here we go. I'm just loving this way of stitching so much. Because this is a method that you actually just totally settle and happy with not being fast. At least for me. If I'm in a sort of I want to stitch a little bit faster kind of mood, I'll probably go for a mini cross country, which I did with the previous page. And I really enjoy that. I didn't enjoy it that much at the end when I had to go back and fill in sort of loose stitches that I missed. I didn't enjoy that part, but I enjoyed the just take your thread everywhere part. And if you're in the right mood, that is a very, really freeing way of stitching. But I would only do within a page. You know, I would never go like a whole project, just go wild. I can't. It's not me. But within a page, it's manageable. But with this way of stitching, is there's no loose stitches you have to go back and find. Everything is stitched properly in order, so to speak. And that's nice to know, because you're always moving forward. You never have to go back. And how wonderful is that? And Gemma stitches, she's got a few tutorial pages to kind of talk through this method, and she did it so well. So if you're not familiar with her already, please go watch that. It's just so therapeutic. Just see the way she stitches, and she never rushes. Because what's the point of rushing, right? It's not a job. We're doing it to find peace, to find joy. It's not a job. And I'm going to come bring it down here. Just one more. I think in the pocket. Move it up a little bit. It's such a colorful piece. It's like every single stitch. They're kind of different colors. Not similar colors. You go from, the colors with contrast. I love that. Oh, I've got a comment. Hang on. I was preoccupied. Let me have a read. Oh my God. So I love games. Lib just posted a comment. That might have been me. Mine is the printed 11 count. Mine is called Cat Desk. Oh my God. So yes, that's what I was talking about, because you left a lovely comment about you're stitching this piece, but it's 11 count. So even the name of the piece, even though it looks identical, the name of the piece is different. Oh, fascinating. Cat desk. Yes, it's a desk with a cat on top. That's very, very appropriate. Let me know how far you've gone with that piece. I love to know, because this piece for me, this kit, this company, I've got probably about 4 or 5 different kits from them, but they're a little bit of a mystery. So they're not like Dimension. So Dimension is very well known. Sort of they do cross-stitching kits. They do smaller pieces. It's kind of smaller projects, and it's a known brand, so to speak. But this one, I'm trying to recall. I think it's called Max Stitching. but I don't know who they are. I really don't. But they have, these are properly charted, quite beautifully charted, and and they have a lot of kits that they do, but they're rarely talked about. I don't know. So Lib, can I call you Lib? I love games, Lib. I love games too. I play games since I was a kid, and but I don't know what kind of games you're referring to. I'm referring to video games. Yes, I grew up playing video games. Still love it. But let me see. So I'd love to know how far you've gone. If you're still watching. Sorry, I missed the comments. I was just talking, preoccupied. But yes, let me know. So I don't know who actually created the image, this piece as an artwork. I don't know who did it. With Heaven and Earth, you always know the author, the artist, but with these ones, the 14 count projects that I'm doing, I don't know who actually created them in terms of the image, the original image. It's so beautiful. I'd love to know who did. And I'm so happy you can join me today, Lib. Because the hours I'm stitching, a lot of times, I think a lot of stitchers are from North America. The time zone is very different. So sometimes if I stitch during daytime over here, it's like really early in America or Canada, where tons and tons of stitches are. So it's wonderful to stitch a little bit later and maybe get to meet some of you. Over here a little bit more. Right, I am going to venture over to this area a little bit more. I know it's not very diagonal right now. It should have gone this way, but I'm just drawn to this area. So that's where I'm going to move my thread, my stitches too. 3328. Oh, hello. So Lib has replied. She says, well, I'm thinking it's a she, making an assumption. She says, not far. I'm a slow stitcher too. Oh, join the club. Left hand side of paint box. Let me have a look. I play all kinds of games and Lib is just fine. Part of my last name. Ah, yes. So Lib it is. Yes, I play games too. Who says grown-ups can't play games? I think most gamers are probably grown up. Well over days, Nintendo. Yes. Oh wow. So left side of a paint box. I'm trying to see. Let me bring up the full image. The paint box? Which part is the paint box? You're not referring to the palette on the left? Oh, I see. You're talking about some on the left side that there's next to the flowers, the glass vase. There's a paint box. Right. I wonder, are you going from top left to bottom right, which most people do, or maybe page by page? Oh, right. Cool. Yes. So you've gone really far. If you're coming from top left, you've done probably at least 6 pages, right? 5, 6 pages. Wow. That's amazing. That's slightly further than I am so far. But then, you know, we're slow stitchers. We're not in any hurry at all. So I'd love to see it, actually. I wonder if you have Instagram or something. It's always interesting to see. I've got Instagram as well, so you can look me up. And if you have one, have pictures posted on yours as well, I'd love to see it. Oh, where am I? Totally forgot what I was doing. 3328. That's this one. And it's wonderful to have sort of people stitching online, because to be honest, I don't know a single person around me that does this kind of stitching. I don't know. We'll just not sort of talk about it. I don't know. I don't know anybody who stitches in my surroundings. So it can be, well, I wouldn't say lonely, because it is quite a lone, peaceful activity. I don't mind stitching, you know, on my own at all. But it's nice to know that there are people like me who's enjoying it as much as I do. And through YouTube, through Instagram, you know, there's tons of people who are doing this. How amazing. Oh, you've got Facebook. I haven't got Facebook for this account. I've only got a personal one. So, oh, what have I done? Yes, I'm trying to. But yeah, I recommend that you create Instagram accounts. There are tons and tons of great stitchers on Instagram, and it's so much fun to look at what they're doing. And I know this lady. I'll try to pull up her profile, actually. She's been doing this kind of ancient map of, let me just see. Let me see if I can pull up her work here. So here we go. Let me just quickly show you. That's my Instagram account. And I know this lady. Sorry, let me just find her first, because her stitches are really unique. I think my feed is just full of all sorts of things. I'm trying to find her, actually. Bear with me, because her stitches are very unique. Let me see if I can pull up her work. And I admire her because she's totally different kind of stitcher than me. So I'm trying to remember her name here. And she does, I'm trying to think. No, it's not this one. Hang on a sec. Lovecraft Forever, I post on her Facebook. Oh, I see. Lovecraft Forever, is that a different creator? Oh, I found her. Look at this. Yes. So this is her name, Creszenz. So this is the account I've been following for a while. So watch this and weep. So let me just zoom in. So she does kind of a sort of ancient map kind of stitches, and it's a massive, massive piece. And I've been following her maybe for a couple of years. She probably been doing this project for probably at least 2 years, a couple of years. And when I first found her, she just started this piece. And let me just go back to the beginning. So she would capture her progress here. And you can see they're kind of always, well, in a way, for my eyes, they look very, very similar wherever the piece is. And maybe some of them's got more black or dark brown, but and she parks as well. Look at this. So this is my this is my ultimate nightmare. Okay, so these colors all very, very similar, and it's vast, like acres and acres of very similar colors, and it never changes. And she's got parking in all directions. So she's something else. She's hardcore. And this is something I can never do. So this one's got more variation. Oh, this is zoomed out. So this is like a map. It's just amazing. I mean, I can never ever do a piece like this because I would just look at a mock-up and go, hello and goodbye. You know, nice meeting you, but we can't be friends. So, and the fact she's been doing it for, I don't know for how long, at least for a couple of years. And the palette's very, very similar. So I follow her for this sole reason, because she's such a different kind of stitcher than me. And she's super fast. You can tell that she's gone very, very far. I'm trying to scroll back to kind of the beginning of the project, see if I can find it. I don't want to make you have motion sickness. But you can see I've been scrolling for like a minute, and this is all like this. So please follow her. It's fascinating. And I think it's a her. I'm making assumption here. So there you go. So every stitcher that I'm following, they were really unique. So I want to pull up the Japanese lady I was talking about. It's the camera just gone blurry there. I follow her on the Instagram as well. I definitely recommend Liv. Please create a Instagram account. We can follow each other, and you can you'll be able to see all these crazy unique stitches. Yeah, she has a YouTube channel too. Lovecraft Forever. I wonder which one that is. Do I follow her? Because I could never remember people's account names. I'm just terrible. Let me just pull up that Japanese lady there. She's got some beautiful pieces, and she's so fast, and she's finished at least one Heaven and Earth max color. So let me see if I can find her, because it's slightly different from her YouTube name, so I get confused. Oh, it's so fascinating, because it's motivating as well to see how people stitch. Oh, hang on. I'm following her, so I don't know why I can't find her. Let me see. I can't find her for now. Or maybe she changed the names. That's why I get confused. I really want to show it to you. Hang on. I don't know, maybe she... Maybe she changed names. Changed the name of her... Oh, no, I can't find her. Never mind. I'll try to post it under the description when I find her. But so Lib says, sorry if I'm confusing. I'm typing as you're talking. I'm not typing, but I'm confused because I'm stitching and talking at the same time. She has a YouTube channel. Yes, she's me. A lot of work. Okay, I'll have to look up Lovecraft Forever. It sounds very familiar. It sounds very familiar. I think I probably have come across her account as well. But I'm so fascinated by these people. And I tend to get drawn to people who are either very similar to me or very different or the opposite. So, oh dear. I'm just thinking about the world map, the ancient map. That's just crazy. So I've got one stitch here. Yes, Lib, but I recommend that you create an Instagram account. I do have a Facebook account, but I almost never use it. I just find the interface very confusing. It's got so much and so crowded. And I know Instagram is part of is owned by Facebook. So they're trying to bring the interface kind of similar to each other. But I think because Facebook has been around for so long that there's so much legacy stuff, they can't clean it up. Whereas Instagram, before, they bought it, Facebook bought it, it's a very clean, a lot more contemporary kind of app. But I can see Facebook is starting to make it less clean. So I think Instagram is being Facebooked, which is probably not a great thing. So this area is going to have a bit more confetti, I would say. Not too bad, but there's more color changes here. So 355. Nice brown. So there are 2 counts of fabrics I still haven't tried. One is 11 counts. I don't think I have done 11 counts. And those are 28 counts. 25, those okay. 28. It's very, very tiny. That would be my future challenge. I need a cup of tea. Oh, so good. Peppermint tea I'm drinking. Four night 8. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to take it down. Let me take it over here. Just have a look. So I'm going to move it back a little bit. For 02. So this area, this is where the wooden little drawer just under the cat. So quite a lot of brownish red or orange kind of colors. It's quite a cozy kind of area to stitch. Nice and warm. Oh, stitch the wrong area. Should be here. Move it over a little bit. I think when you stitch in this method, you're so focused on the individual stitches because your priority is to kind of have a plan in terms of where you want the stitches to go. So it's a really nice distraction from the goal-orientated mind, so to speak, that we tend to want to fill in a certain area. You're less likely to think like that when you stitch like this because it requires a lot of focus and attention to where you want to take the stitches. So you're not just there to fill in the space, so to speak. And it's great because before you know it, let me just zoom out a little bit so the autofocus is not going crazy. So before you know it, you get quite a lot of stitches done without even realize that you've done it. If that makes any sense at all. It does to me so far. Oh, hello, Essie Cross Stitch. Essie says, love your project. It's fun to see the influence of Gemma Stitch's method. Yes. And also your organizer made similar to, yes, stitching masterpiece. Oh my god, you're so knowledgeable. Yes. So stitching masterpieces is another person that I follow. I'm so fascinated by her. And you're quite right. So this is a bastardized version of her beautiful organizer. Okay, so yes, you're quite right. It does look very similar. I learned from her that you could put a bag underneath to protect the thread, because before my so these I kind of came up, I hacked my way through sort of creating organizers for my projects. So these are the original ones. So I put a piece of felt on top so I can part my thread. So I kind of had these for quite a while, but I used to organize them through putting a metal ring to the left here, so I can open it up this way, if that makes sense, like a book to the left. But all the threads underneath, they're exposed. And I've been thinking for ages, I was thinking, well, the method, my original booklet of threads, it kind of worked okay, but the threads underneath, they get dusty, they get a bit, just not protected. And I saw her, I only came across, what's her name, Stitching Masterpieces very recently. And I thought I just wanted to incorporate the bag underneath. So I did. So Essie is clearly in the stitching world for quite a while. So she's very knowledgeable. I was about to mention her, but I didn't want to confuse everyone because I mentioned about 3 or 4 different creators today. But yes, I love her. I think she's a Russian lady. She's from Russia. And she's got beautiful way of stitching. She's so neat. And she does a lot of cross country. I don't think she parks. I've never seen her parking, but yes. And she doesn't do live streams, which is a shame. I'd love to watch her stitching live, and she's very fast as well. So Essie, thank you for noticing that. So I love Gemma. She's got beautiful way of stitching. So all credits to her. Yes, there are just so many unique stitches out there. And it's so great to learn different techniques, different methods. And I think, I think I talked about this in the last session. I think stitching doesn't start or end on what we're doing here. It's from the organizing of the threads, how you store them, organize them, everything. That's the whole thing's a package. And it's fun. It's just fun to kind of adapt different methods. And it's so great when things are organized, isn't it? Even though I'm not looking for speed, but I like to be efficient. I like things to be kind of elegant in some way, not in a sort of fancy kind of way. Just the fact that, through organizing your threads a certain way, it translates into life, doesn't it? It's kind of, everything just feels it's in order for me. Anyway, I get excited when I find a new method to organize my threads or my projects. So Lib knows, I think Lib is probably referring to Stitching Masterpieces. I need to remember those account names a bit better, because some of them I followed for ages and I still can't get their names right. So, but I salute to them. So quite a lot of them have been stitching for probably, I don't know, decades. So I'm a baby stitcher. I only discover full coverage only during the lockdown, really. So probably less than 3 years. I'm learning as I go along. And it was fascinating because when I first discovered full cover stitching and particularly parking as well, I was, I was going around YouTube trying to find tutorials and stuff, and I found some really old videos, like 12-year old videos. So people have been parking for ages. Let me have a look. As you says, you can call me Asa. Is Asa? I'm terrible with names. I think we all do things all do things different. It's fun to be inspired by others. I do have an Instagram where I post my progress. I'd love to have a look at that. Is it the same as your name? I'll have a look. I love to look at what everybody's stitching right now. So inspiring. You're quite right. And it's stitching just such a kind of a little bubble you allow yourself to go in for for a period of time that you kind of just focus on where the threads, want the threads to go, where the stitches are. And it's just nice, really nice mental break from a lot of things that we think about every day. So it's about 11:44 here in the UK. I'll probably stitch till midnight, till 12, and see how far I can go. So 1, 2, 3. I think I part. Oh, never mind. Should be fine. I should park it. Yeah. I've got another one here of the same color. So whenever possible, I do one leg at a time. I enjoy this. The stitches kind of just, well, I wouldn't say look tidier, but it's just nice way to finish across. There you go. Going to park it here. Because I'm stitching the areas, got a lot of quite similar colors, so it's very easy to pick up the wrong thread. So I have to be extra mindful. Down here. So, how many projects do you have? You mentioned 25 counts, heaven and earth design, but recently stitching 14. Oh my God. Countless, many projects. I can quickly show you if I can part this one down here. Yeah, I haven't counted recently, but just look at my pattern keeper. Let me just find this here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. Okay, here. So I've got quite a few ongoing. If I can quickly show you my pattern keeper. So hang on, let me just clear this view here. So these are all the projects I've got. Not all of them are heaven and earth, 25 counts, but these ones, for instance, this one, the most recent one I got, this one here. Let me see if I can bring up the mock-up. It's a beautiful piece. Look at this. So this one I got, this one only came out a year before. I got the pattern immediately and start stitching, even though I've got like tons already. I say ballpark, I probably have at least 15 easily. Just heaven and earth ones, including some mini ones here. I do in half stitches, and I've got a massive gecko rouge. I don't know whether you're familiar with it. Let me bring up the markup. I'll show you this piece very soon at some point. So this is massive. Okay, no joke. If you think heaven and earth max color mega size whatever it's called is big, this one is bigger. I can't even tell you how many stitches. I can quickly have a look. So this one, oh my God, the rabbit hole of this one. So this one, I've actually gone fairly far. As you can see, these are the stitch area here. But this is a tiny corner just out of the entire piece. And I'm too afraid to show you the stitch count because we're talking probably millions, thousands. I can't even count, too many digits. So massive. For some reason, I just love big projects. So to answer your question, a lot. a lot of projects. I'm very good with starting projects, and have not finished one yet. And I have no plan to finish any piece anytime soon. So as he says, your style of project is gorgeous, love the colors. I know, I'm drawn to colors. It just fills me with so much excitement. I know a lot of pieces, they're classy, they're beautiful, but it's just gradients of the same color, a lot of that. Those projects I can't do. I just know that, I'm not going to be excited doing it. But so I picked the ones that's got a lot going on. I don't be ashamed about the amount of projects. Oh my God. Yes. I get a bit embarrassed when I'm asked about how many projects. You don't even need to ask me. I just look at my storage area and just look at all ongoing projects. I just go, oh dear, what have you got yourself into? But I just pick up any piece that I felt right for that day, and I do it, and that's it. I don't think much beyond it. And if I come across a pattern that I love, I just go for it, because what have I got to lose? I'm in no hurry to finish anything anyway, so I'm just doing one stitch at a time. And so if I'm drawn to a pattern, I just start a new one. Why not? So that's my very long answer for you. It's like a lot of projects. And I'll see, maybe I'll do a count. And I'm too afraid to get the answer, just in case it's over 20. I don't think it's over 20. That'd be, a little bit over the top. But definitely somewhere like 15. I don't know, 12, 15, no problem. 1, 2, 3 here. So I'm gonna go for a few more stitches, and it's maybe around midnight here in London, so I'm gonna wrap up and go to bed. But it's so relaxing to do this and chat with you. It's just a great way to end a Saturday. I love big and many colors with tons of details, but I tend not to go bigger than 500 by 750. Oh my God, you have self-discipline and restraint, which I haven't got. I just automatically go for the biggest projects I can find. I don't know, I'm just drawn to really big projects. It's just something about the unknown, because it's so big, and it's just the thought of doing it just fills me with excitement. I love small pieces as well, but with small pieces I'm also not very good with finishing. There's a pattern emerging there, but I think generally with full coverage they're normally above certain size. I mean, this piece, for instance, is kind of on the medium smaller side, to be honest. It looks big because the stitches are bigger, but in terms of stitch counts, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. Right. Let me part this one here, and let me do a review Let me show you the app here just to show you. See how far I've gone today. So I'm kind of edging out this area, and let me have a look. So I've completed 115 today. It's right here, just over 2 hours. But I'm chatting at the same time, right? So it's not bad at all. For me, per session is just about probably normally under 150. It's quite normal to me. And also with this method, I'm a little bit slower, which is totally expected. So, and the progress so far with this piece is close to 8%. How exciting. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. But the hour is not always that accurate because, you know, sometimes I do a few stitches, walk away and come back. So that looks for not like a lot of time, but actually I haven't spent 140 hours on this piece. That'd be exaggerated. So yeah, so that's my progress today. And let me just zoom out a little bit here. And move that away. So I'm moving downwards nice and slowly, just the way it's intended. So I'm going to wrap up today's session, and it's really lovely to have you here if you've been watching. And if you're watching replay, I hope you enjoy it too. So, and I hope you'll be able to join me live one of these days. And thank you for keeping me company today. And thank you for your comments, your lovely comments. And I will see you next time. Bye bye. Good night.